Bullets narrowly missing children and families in their own homes. Rochester police are investigating an ongoing pattern of occupied homes struck by gunfire.
Police say while it isn't a new trend, it is one that needs to end. 13 Wham's Natalie Kutchko joins us with more on how the department is addressing these crimes. Natalie?
Well, while they're not calling it a trend, police say they have seen more occupied homes hit by gunfire recently and are stepping up patrols in areas that are considered hotspots. Meantime, for the people who live in those neighborhoods, they say their fear isn't going away. Sheila Carpenter lives near Garson Avenue in Rochester, the scene of two separate shootings Tuesday.
This whole past year has been worse than it had been previously.
Around 5:30 Tuesday, a 20-year-old woman was shot and several homes struck by gunfire, including this house where multiple bullet holes can be seen in the windows. In at least one of the homes, police say residents were inside at the time.
This year, certainly, we are seeing, a number of houses being struck, and unfortunately, with children inside.
With 6 children of her own, Carpenter says she continues to fear for her family's safety and has had to call 911 multiple times.
I've maybe done it, I would say, a dozen times over the last few years. It's startling to hear those shots close enough, to know that that's what it is. I'll say that we did move beds around in the front bedroom because, it's happened close enough that it is a concern.
Lieutenant Greg Bello with the Rochester Police Department says it's still unclear if the shootings on Garson Ave are related.
At this point, we're still looking into whether it was the same group that's shooting twice, whether one of these houses. It doesn't appear that any of these houses were targeted in this situation. But trying to figure out who the players in that neighborhood are that have guns. Right? Who are the people that are out there shooting these guns? Because ultimately those bullets are going into places that are putting others and innocent victims in danger.
Lieutenant Bello is also calling on the public for help, making arrests in more of these cases.
We're making multiple gun arrests a day in the city. So we're attacking it, but we do that with community help, right? There's so much we can do, but the more the community can help us, the more information they can feed to us, the better to help keep communities safe.
And Rochester police say they are making arrests in some of these cases. Just yesterday, a suspect was taken into custody involving a home hit by gunfire over the weekend on Stanfield Terrace, where they seized 7 firearms.
Shortage of workers now has at least one local county offering its employees thousands of extra dollars to keep them in their jobs. Ontario County will pay its employees $7,000 this year in a retention stipend. It's a story first reported by our news partner, The Times of Wayne County. As Carla Rogner reports tonight, reaction from private businesses is coming in as they hunt for workers. Carla?
Yeah, Ontario County is using leftover pandemic aid to offer this aid to its employees. I spoke with a restaurant owner in Canandaigua who has been short-staffed for some time. He says it's tough to compete in the hiring market without funds like that to dip into. At Eric's office in Canandaigua,
it's been a struggle to staff.
Owner Eric Zimmerman has had to cut his hours, now only open 5 days a week, and his employees are working double shifts.
I've been in the restaurant business my whole life, and I've never seen a staffing situation like this before. In the last 2 years, obviously wages have gone up dramatically in the restaurant industry. There's just not enough people to go around.
After hearing about Ontario County's incentive, he's wondering how his business will be able to compete.
And then, a county physician, if you're going to get a $7,000 bonus, that makes it even harder. Why would you want to be in the private sector? There are, I guess, food service parts of the nursing homes in different county positions where that would be a competition for an employee.
Ontario County is offering its employees 2 payments of $3,500 each this year. Next year, they will receive $5,000, and in 2024, $4,000 extra dollars. Ontario County Administrator Chris DeBolt says money is coming from the American Rescue Plan Act. He says these are not bonuses, but are intended to recognize the hard work the county employees did throughout the pandemic and ensure the county stays competitive in an increasingly challenging labor market. Zimmerman got PPP loans to help pay employees at the beginning of the pandemic, but says it's been tough to get any assistance since then.
We struggle week to week just to cover our costs, deal with inflation, deal with increasing wages, increasing food costs. So it's hard. It's definitely hard.
And Wayne County is also considering retention bonuses for its workers. It would give full-time employees $100 biweekly and part-time employees $50 biweekly over 7 months. This money would come from Wayne County's general fund. The measure goes up for board approval next week.
With COVID cases rising in parts of the country, the federal mask mandate on planes, trains, and other forms of transportation will be sticking around at least through the start of next month. That, mixed with the possibility of flight delays, can cause travel stress for anyone heading out this spring. But as 13 WHAM's Dalton Williams reports, there are some things you can do to help better kick back and relax. Dalton?
Well, with spring break being here and families getting ready for some much-needed R&R, travelers are still taking some precautions after having waited for 2 years. Studies show nearly 40% of Americans are ready to get back out there and travel once again. But it doesn't come without its fair share of difficulties.
So the flight was delayed, then it came back on, then it was delayed again. The crew at the airport has been fabulous to take care of us, but it's added a lot of stress to the travel.
To try and cut down on stress, travel experts say people are opting for larger airlines to avoid any unforeseen complications.
Say Southwest or JetBlue, who are having the most issues with pilots and crew, then they're going to go for potentially a little bit more of an expensive flight on United, Delta, or American to ensure that they can get it back and forth on the days that they want to go.
Many travelers aren't letting COVID stop their plans, but are still monitoring any requirements needed to get to their destinations.
I think one of the biggest things that's affecting Americans leaving and coming back is the requirement to get tested to come back, with the threat of potentially having to quarantine in destination.
Which is leading to another rise: travel insurance purchases.
I always recommend people, if they're traveling out of the country, to buy travel insurance. That's always been a good thing because when you're in another country, they don't take our health care. So, if something happens medically, you have coverage.
Both travel agents say that insurance can help cover delays, lost luggage, or flight changes if there were to be anything to go wrong.